The No Perks and No Armor challenge is something I've been tackling slowly but surely over the past few weeks. And while the first 3 maps I did, which were Die Machina, Firebase Z, and Forsaken, were not too difficult to get through, the latter 3, Mauer Der Toten and Outbreak's Easter eggs, have been giving me a ton of trouble. In this particular video, we're going to be going through and beating the second Outbreak Easter egg, Operation Excision. This is by far the easiest of the last 3 maps that I have to complete, but still not easy due to Outbreak's difficulty curve exacerbating much more aggressively as compared to traditional round-based maps. I tried to beat the Operation Excision Easter egg probably around 7 to 10 times before finally doing so. Every time something so stupid and minuscule would happen, what? Strike team. And I just couldn't really find the right method to get things done until it all just kind of clicked for me. So I'm going to be diving into this a little bit more as we go along through the Easter egg, but first I'd like to explain why this challenge ends up being so tricky. Cold War Zombies is literally designed from the ground up for the player to use all of the perks, as each perk has 5 tiers associated with it, which brings out the different features to enhance the overall gameplay experience. For example, Death Perception, while not being the most fun perk of the bunch, ends up being very crucial for challenges like these because I'm no longer collecting salvage at a quicker rate. This ends up hurting me immensely if I go down and I need to buy, for example, a self-revive pack. Cold War Zombies is also designed with armor in mind, and if there is just one thing that I've learned from these challenges, it's that perks aren't really what make this difficult. It's the lack of armor. It's just, oh man, it gets really, really rough. Like I said, I'll explain things a bit more throughout the video because you just have to think a little bit differently when it comes to playing with such a significant handicap. And that being said, we still have 2 more maps to complete with this challenge, so let me know if you enjoyed the video by telling me what other challenges you'd like to see in the comment section, which is just right beneath that pesky little like button. Starting things off by infilling inside of Golova, I know I have to take a look at my map to see what objectives were offered to be able to acquire as many resources as possible, since my main course of action is to abuse the salvage crafting table as much as possible for things like decoy grenades, stims, semtex grenades, etc., etc., and if necessary, like I said before, to buy self-revives. The main strategy I have come to find out was using the M16 as my main weapon and trying to get either the Electrobolt DIE Shockwave or one of the ray guns, as well as getting a chopper gunner score streak just in case shit goes haywire. What makes this tricky is that we have to get all of this done before round 4, or else the Order boss fight is going to get a lot more difficult, so fingers crossed. That being said, from all of my failed attempts I had conjured up before this, I really felt like I had finally found my plan. I knew that I would be able to get the chopper gunner if I had enough salvage, or just didn't down a lot, or got it from an enemy, and I knew I could get an M16 fully packed, but what I wasn't sure of was being able to get a wonder weapon, and if I did, could I fully pack-a-punch it so that I could take down Orda as quickly as possible in the final fight? Well, luckily I noticed that there was an Omega chopper, so I took that down so I could get a nice boost in my salvage. Next, it was time to jump straight into the main objective, which was to collect Ethereum for the Doctor by filling up the 2 rockets with zombie souls, or whatever the hell they're called. This challenge can get pretty hairy when you have no armor because the zombies are a lot more aggressive and I think they have a bit of a health boost. I completed the first rocket and grabbed a double points, which, if utilized correctly, can actually double your score for the main objective inside of Outbreak as long as you complete the challenge itself before the double points runs out. Unfortunately, that didn't happen, but we beat the main objective unscathed, which is most important. But before we head to the next map, I still have 3 world events to complete, which are the Golden Chest, the Dragon, and the Black Chest events. And like I said, need to get as many points as possible and save them as well so that I can get everything fully upgraded. So every challenge inside of an Outbreak map isn't an option, it's a must. And as you can see, we got through all of the challenges with these. Now it's time to head to Collateral. Loading in Collateral, the plan was the same. Defeat all the world events to get as much salvage and points as possible while hoping for a miracle to get a wonder weapon. You can see in the game that I had just before this one, I had the perfect RNG and I just effed it up by getting a little too greedy with my resources. I had received both the Die Shockwave and a ray gun and things were on the up and up, but I took things a little too far. Anyways, I digress. Getting a wonder weapon is not simple at Outbreak. You can generally always get one, but it will usually happen after round 5 or 6. Early game ray gun luck just doesn't really happen for a guy like me. Thus, we continue our journey into the desert plains of wherever the hell this godforsaken map takes place, and I decide that it would be a good idea to take down the Orda. It's only round 2, and I have a level 1 papped purple M16. How hard can it be? Turns out, pretty fucking hard. Well, I'll be damned. Maybe things aren't going to be so bad after all. Yeah, we're going to be just fine. Oh, fuck. Obviously, that was not the best of luck. We should be wrapping up this Easter egg by round 4, but instead we're going to be finishing things off on the next round, making this no perks, no armor thing that much more difficult. But luckily, we get through getting another black chest event, taking down a Panzer, an Orda, the Dragon event, completing the main objective, getting the ray gun to level 3 Pack-a-Punch, not to mention we got the communication device from the orb step, which, you know, I gotta say, I love that step. I love flying around in the air like that. It's just so cute, you know? Maybe this push to round 5 was a blessing in disguise, because I think we're going to have enough points to get ourselves 2 fully Pack-a-Punch weapons for the ending of this Easter egg. So let's make our way to Sanatorium again. Landing here and immediately checking the map, I see that we are chock filled with shit to do, so now it's just a matter of getting everything done so that we have enough points to pap and have enough excess salvage to get prepared for the boss fight. So I initially took down the Omega Chopper because, like I said, we need that sweet salvage, and unfortunately, it got stuck on a building sign. Can we grab that? Well, looks like you can. Good to know, I guess. Then I smugly make my way over to the final Dragon event for the night to get my ass cooked, and instead of retreating and buying another self-revive, I decide to stick around and attempt to finish things off. Fortunately, I succeeded. Now here is where I actually do something smart for once and go pick up a self-revive and randomly get a die shockwave from a crate inside of this bathhouse, which I would have totally picked up if there was more time, but the only thing that's worth a damn is the Electrobolt and maybe the Nova Gas variant, and again, I'm not going to make it to Golova or Duga before we get to that final Orda boss fight. Speaking of which, we're going to go fight Orda again for the 3rd time before we get to the final Orda boss fight. Seems like a little much, Treyarch. Do you think we could lay off the Ordas from here on out? Fortunately, the ray gun took Orda down with ease, so that makes me feel good about what is yet to come by the end of this run. So after completing the final world event, I'm ready to start the last few steps of this Easter egg, but first, I need to Pack-a-Punch my M16. Nice. All right, so let's go find that chopper. This step has never really been too challenging as you don't really get swarmed with a lot of enemy types, but it's still best to be cautious because I do believe some of the zombies start to speed up just a little too much for my liking. Honestly, it's the Dark Ether Bunny step that really starts to get me nervous because you have to do a little defense round and sometimes you get some beefy dudes that just want to end your life. Luckily, all we got was a mimic, but still, when you have no perks and no armor, you're always just teetering on the edge of worry and confidence. So we get Mr. Peaks to the bridge, and now it's time for the most annoying step in all of the Outbreak Easter eggs combined. Finding the stupid fucking red orb. I swear to God, this thing is never in the 3 locations it's supposed to be, but maybe I'm just an idiot and don't know where the locations are, or maybe Treyarch just has it out for me. I'm really not sure at this point. Crap, I just went down looking for this. Oh my God, I swear there has to be a conspiracy against me. But hey, we found the orb and we got it to combine with Mr. Peaks at the bridge, and now here is where shit really hits the fan, and I'm warning you guys, this next part, it is not easy. After activating the cart, my heart dropped into my stomach because I had no idea idea what was going to be in the way of my path because Treyarch seemingly changes the enemy types that spawn in, and this time they didn't hold back. At first, I see a Mangler off in the distance and take him out with ease. Then a Disciple pops up, making zombies just that much more difficult to kill. But then I hear this noise. A megaton. And this is where things get wild. I only have one self-revive, no perks to fall back on, and these guys do work against a no jug health bar. And I don't know if you noticed, but I only have one activation of my specialist. How the hell am I going to get that meter up? Not to mention, I only have 5 stim shots to last the entirety of this boss encounter, meaning I have to make them count. Needless to say, I was nervous, but those nerves were easily sedated when this happened.
Please.
Wait, hold on a second. What was that? Are you kidding me? It was at this point in the Easter egg that I began questioning my purpose and putting my entire existence under a microscope. Why, God? Why? Haven't I been a good boy, my lord? And lo and behold, we get out of the stank alive and make it to our beloved checkpoint where we will wait for Orda to spawn in and kick his ass all the way back to Firebase Z, where I hope to never see him again. But real quick, let's do an inventory check, shall we? I have 1 stim shot, 5 semtex, a 3x papped ray gun, an M16 that isn't doing anything to anyone anymore, no Aether Shrouds, and a chopper gunner that I have no idea if it works on the Orda or not, but it's there nonetheless. After playing the final radio on the map, I gently parachute down to the area where Orda will probably beat my ass, and I cower behind a wall in hopes that this might shelter me from the dog bombs that will be inevitably destroying everything I have worked so hard for. While waiting for the massacre to begin, I start daydreaming of a better life. A life where I can be anything I want to be. A life where I can be, well, myself. Oh shit, here we go. Boss zombies are the #1 priority. There was a Panzer right at the start, and I knocked that bitch's teeth out. You guys disgust me. Now, all we have to do is look out for dog bombs, tempests, manglers, and mimics. And, oh yeah, armor zombies. Oh god, they suck. Orda's health actually seemed to be going down fairly easily with the ray gun, but it was getting hard to drop full mags into him because the reload is so slow on this ray gun, and especially so without speed cola. So I create a little training loop around the area, and things seem to be going fine as we are about 40% done with Orda as of now. But then I get stuck on a fucking fence. Orda spews out a swarm that knocks my health to almost nothing, and a zombie comes from behind and does what zombies do best. Get your mind out of the gutter. I revive myself, popping the only Aether Shroud that I will have for the entirety of this fight just to blast Orda to smithereens with the ray gun. But then the Aether Shroud runs out and I can't afford to go down again. So I do what any amazing zombies player would do. I pull out the score streak. Now, if you have ever played Firebase Z at all and have ever used the chopper gunner against Orda at all, you will know that it never works and it ends up just being a waste of your time. But I'll be damned. On Outbreak Orda, specifically Outbreak Orda in the boss fight, this thing does some work. Just watch and enjoy. I gotta say, I was pretty pumped at this point, but unfortunately, our work was not over yet. You have to kill all the zombies in order to exfil. That's exactly what I did. And before I knew it, the cutscene was rolling. We did it, boys. We finally beat one of the Outbreak Easter eggs solo with no armor, no perks, and I gotta say, quite a feat. Now, we just have 2 more maps to complete, and I'm really excited to rage quit and throw controllers all over my room. Oh man, we have a long way to go. Anyways, guys, if you enjoyed this video at all, why not consider leaving a comment about what Easter egg you'd like to see next? Either Mauer or Outbreak Easter egg #1. All you got to do is head down a bit right below the like button and leave your thoughts in the comment section. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of No Perks and No Armor, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out, everybody.